A few days ago, I was really looking for TvP inspiration when I stumbled into this series, Cure against Harston from the Wardy something championship. I'm not sure what the tournament was called, my bad. But Cure played a very interesting style, played very different from how he usually plays. And I thought it was very inspiring. I wanted to try it out myself, and now I want to share it with you guys as well. Cure recently has been absolutely on fire, by the way. Yesterday he qualified for King of Battles on the European server, which is an insane feat if you're playing from Korea on at least 200 ping. Beating some really good players as well. I think he beat Lambo, he beat Time, I think he beat Gong Fu Banda. I think Time might have been on the Korean server as well, or maybe on America, I'm not sure where he is right now. But anyway, let's get back to the game. Cure's gonna open with a Marine first. Honestly, that is a very Cure style. He definitely does like Marine more than Reaper as his opener. Gets the reactor after. Doesn't cut any gas. I feel like Cure is actually a little bit different here. As you can see, he's throwing down his second barracks. And a lot of Terrans would actually cut gas here. To afford their barracks and stuff, but Cure, I feel like he rarely cuts gas. Not even when he plays his famous 3-racks against Zerg. He also never cut gas with that build. And whenever I watch Maru, they did cut gas. So I guess Cure cares a little bit more about getting that tech up a little bit faster. Yeah, which is honestly, probably it's just a choice. I doubt it makes too much of a difference. It's just what you feel comfortable with, right? So he's indeed going to go for that 3-racks. I really like the double Reaper version here, getting 3 Marines out and then 2 sneaky Reapers. Move around the back. You know, sneak into the back of the natural. And yeah, a lot of time you can get good damage done. You can get free scouting. But Cure, he doesn't need that, you know. He just needs a lot of units. He wants power with his pushes, which I can respect. A lot of time, a 3-racks is about hitting that timing attack really strongly with your stim, your combat shields. You want to maximize the amount of units you have. And that is what Cure is going for. I usually just like to put a little bit of a twist in my builds to allow myself to deal some damage. I'm not as confident as Cure is in just straight up macro games without dealing any damage, right? And you can see, it looks like he's going to throw down a factory very fast. Oh no, it's just a depot. I was really hyped for that. I was like, okay, he doesn't cut gas, he can make his factory fast. This is when it all comes together, but he just made a depot there for some reason. Not in the back where it doesn't bother anything, not in the wall. He just makes it back there. Cool. I think Cure also has, yeah, he hasn't scouted at all this game. Very interesting. Now, one thing that is very nice about Cure is that I will be able to go in his POV soon. He's not very spammy at all, so we won't be getting too dizzy. So when the action starts unfolding, I will jump to his first-person view. Okay, so he still gets the engineering bay first. Very interesting. I think this is actually the most standard version, but I thought maybe because he doesn't cut gas, he might want to go for a factory first. The Oracle's gonna come in here, might kill one SCV. There we go, gets one. Cure obviously in position. Now both of these players are playing on ping. This was played on the NA server. Whether it was central or west, I don't know. But they have at least a little bit of ping. So especially with things like Oracles, you don't want to go too YOLO, try to do too much damage. And you can see in Cure's micro that he didn't even really respond. He just let his Marines walk there on their own and do their job like that. Now what's a bit surprising to me is that Cure is actually making more Marauders. Normally against Stargate, I feel like you just go for like 4 Marauders, or 2 Marauders rather, and then push with that. But he's actually going to be attacking with 4, and then goes back into Marine production. Now I think looking at it now, you can kind of see why Cure only went for 1 gas, because by this time normally, you would have had to make a second gas already. But Cure actually got his stim, combat shield, +1 and his factory, just because he got that 1 gas early, and never stopped mining from there. You see, Cure's going around, his second Marauders are derping. This always happens to me, very annoying. As for Cure's build, I do like to learn exactly how he does it. So he throws down the factory, and then he throws down all 3 gases after that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, this is a very well-placed stasis ward. Oh, he does scan it, okay. To be fair, I was gonna say, I would never expect the stasis ward to be there, of all places. Okay, Turbo Battery gets activated. I always find this such a hard position when... You know, they kind of held your 3-racks, they have the battery, and you've already stimmed. Like, you can see the army is yellow HP already. There's a lot of stalkers. I mean, he kills a few probes, decides to go for the 3rd. I mean, I'm teaching you guys here, but I'm also learning every move Cure is doing, because Cure is honestly my favorite Terran, so... it's always a pleasure for me to watch these games. You see, the stims just hurt so much. I guess he hasn't got too much value. He's going to try to get the 3rd. I feel like there's no way he will ever get that. Might get it down to red HP. There we go. But since Nexai healed the shields, and you can just make a battery as well. This should not be any difficult for Arson to deal with. Now back at home. Gets the 3rd CC on location. 2 more barracks before the medevacs. And I think at this point you guys might be wondering, like, what is so special and inspiring about this Cure style? Well, you're about to see it. The Cure is going to go up to 5 barracks very fast. I feel like, as for a 3-racks opener, his build honestly seems very optimized, because I don't remember the follow-up to this being this smooth. Whenever I do a 3-racks, when my attack fails, I look back to my base and there's no medevacs, there's no money to make barracks, you know. So I definitely do feel like his build is very, very tight. And I should probably copy it step for step if I want to do a 3-racks again. Lately I haven't been doing it as much, but it is still obviously a staple of TvP. Definitely worth doing. Definitely worth learning for you guys as well. It's 100% one of the most solid builds you can do in TvP. It's pretty much at least okay in every situation. There's a few questionable ones, like going up against Colossus drop and whatnot. But yeah. And here we go. This is what I was talking about, right? Normally, Cure, always solid in TvP, right? You get your Ghost out, you get your Vikings, you go for the late game. Cure is straight up going up to 8 barracks before even making his armory, okay? Cure is gonna make so many bio units, and he's not gonna attack at all. He's just gonna make, yeah, he's gonna make an absurd amount of bio units and try to attack everywhere, basically. And what this really reminds me of is that he's doing the brick from TvZ. Now, I don't know if you guys know what the brick is in TvZ, but it's basically the style where you skip gases on the 3rd base, you go for 8 racks marine tank, you make so many marines and tanks, you just try to end the game with a push like that. You don't try to transition to the late game or anything like that. Now Curious gonna stim in here, kills the sentries, doesn't really care about target firing the Immortal. I mean, Bio does a lot of damage to Stalkers anyway, so it's fine. Now let's see how he maximizes the value of his units. Hearthstone blinks in, he tries to target the weak Stalkers. Gets 2 more Stalkers there, 3rd one here probably, maybe a... Wow, okay, that's actually a surprising amount of Stalkers going down, I have to say. Now look at the production tab, guys. 3 Marauders, 4 Marines at a time. Well, right now 2. And now he's going to make 3 more add-ons. He's going to go up to 5 Marauder, 6 Marine production. And honestly, people don't play like this. With normal bio units, you typically cannot really beat a Protoss army. You need those Ghosts, you need those Vikings. In the late game, you need those Liberators. But Cure? He is gonna go absolute psycho mode, to be honest, by just making mass bio. His SCV count is really low because he's not taking these gases. He quite literally only needs 60 SCVs to be completely saturated. I would have loved if he made 2 more, so he actually gets that perfect 60. And so far, honestly, the trades haven't even really been insane. If you go 50-50 as a Terran, in the late game is pretty good. Here, you probably want a little bit more. Like, you have the microable units, right? So far it hasn't been going too well. And still he's gonna go for this style, which, honestly, logically, if I would think about this, I would imagine this is... Oh wait, we should go on the Curious POV, by the way, because it's about to get fast. Normally, I would say, if you're ahead, you can play this style, right? Because you get so many units, you have a high chance to finish the game. And that's that. But Curious is kind of playing like this when his opener failed, honestly. His 3-racks did not get enough damage done. His follow-up push got shut down as well. And he's still playing this style. So how the hell does he, you know, manage to do this? Now, he does have, you know, more units than usual. So it could be a bit confusing for the Protoss player. Decides to back off there when he sees units. That is honestly a move that I would never be able to do. Oh, he's going to go for the Nexus. Ah, that is really cool. He's going to lose a lot of units for it, though. But once again, he has so many, right? As you can see in the supply, he still have 15 supply. Which, after these trades, you just need the top left. I mean, the trades definitely got a little bit better. He did kill a lot of Zealots, but he did also sacrifice like 10 supply units or more to kill that Nexus. And he's still up in supply. Hearthstone, I'm going to counter that by double expanding. Now, I wonder if he's just going to split his army 50-50. Or if he's going to keep doing more of a, like, small drop on the left, big army on the right kind of style. Like, they're both multi-pronged, but they're actually pretty much completely different styles, right? He has so many Marauders here. Yeah, I knew it. He's going to die for that Colossus. Really good force field of ours. Not quite enough, though. Going to kill the Immortal, and then I imagine he gets out of there after killing the quality units. Now, he is making a 4th base, so even though he's not teching up, it's similar to the brick in TvZ. Keep in mind that not teching up doesn't mean that you can't play a macro game, right? It's admittedly a little bit of a scuffed macro game. But you still want to try to expand. He's going to get his 4th base. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he gets his 5th and 6th at some point too. Maybe even his Cedric Tower. But teching up is, for now, it's completely out of the question. One thing that you can do with these styles is that once you get yourself into an economically great spot, then you can tech up. So you have your Ghost and stuff really late, but when you do get them, you will be in a better spot than normal because you actually have the 5th base and stuff up. Hearthstone just revelated literally only the Widow Mine there. That's kind of impressive. He's gonna go for the Nexus again. That would be... there's no way he would do that, right? It's actually only Stalkers here, so the trade is not that bad. Little bit of a mismark there from Cure. That's gonna cost him. Another fight on the left there has a few Widow Mines. Obviously the micro is a little bit awkward with the ping, like I told you. Still manages to unburrow those Widow Mines though, because Cure is Cure. DT's in his bases. Let's see how he deals with that. I love this so much about Cure's play. Don't you guys feel like he's always just so calm? Like, if I was attacking on two fronts at the same time and there's DT's in my base, I would be panicking. I would be sending my army everywhere, running my SCVs around. Cure made that look like it was just a very simple, you know, 50 APM action that you have to do, which is what I really like. So now if you look at the situation, Cure appears to be in a little bit of trouble, right? He's down in work account. Obviously he does have 3 orbitals, so its income should be relatively even, as you can see over here. The income is looking pretty even. Cure actually mining a few more minerals. But yeah, he only has bio units at this point against a pretty teched up army. Excuse me. So what is the next move? He's gonna go for a big drop here, 3 or 4 medevacs, let's see. Looks like he's gonna stick with 3. Honestly, at this point, I would like a Ghost Academy to be dropped down. I really like the gameplay so far, but if a Protoss gets 150 supply plus, playing without a Ghost Academy is a little bit of insanity. Now, I think Cure has been falling for this trick a while, but now he's gonna realize there are actually only 2 Stalkers there all this time. Like, before the time he tried to drop, but he saw Stalkers there and he was like, nah, let's not do that, but they were actually only 2 Stalkers, and now he realized. Now he's attacking on the 3rd at the same time. I imagine Hearthstone must be pretty confused at this point, like, I've traded so well all this time, where are all these units coming from? And Cure does it with the brick, and I don't know if you guys realize how crazy it is, but you cannot just beat Protoss with just buy units, and this was actual insanity. In the second game, Cure was going for pretty much the same. He's going for a 3 racks once again. This time it was actually a reactor first. One detail I want to touch on real quick is that Cure decided to make the reactor first instead of a marine when there was no probe scout. So if you guys want to decide between marine first or reactor first, maybe wait to see if there's a probe scout or not. Now, just a casual 500 IQ move here by Cure, moving 4 marines in the middle of the map to kill an adept. Why the hell not, you know? Might as well, right guys? Anyone could have foresaw that that would happen, right? I think you guys would do the exact same thing. Once again, he's going to go for that 1 gas. He's actually going to move his marines back. I have seen Korean Terrans now and then actually move out with 6 marines and try to get into the natural. But I'll be honest, I've never understood that move. And judging by the results I've seen of that move, I'm not sure if I will ever understand it. But if you guys want to try it out, go ahead. Walk 6 marines across the map, see what happens, I guess. Now he's getting the eBay once again. I think... I'm not completely sure about this wall here. Like, if you guys have watched my TvPs, you know I do actually love the wall of the natural. And this is mostly as a counter to DTs. Basically, it makes it a free early game victory, in a sense. But since he's not making siege tanks, walling off is actually very scary, because these things can just be shot down by Stalkers, right? So actually be pretty careful by walling off. If you do want to wall off, it's probably better to do it with a build where you're actually making siege tanks. Now wait, did I see this? Hearthstone is actually going for an incredibly greedy build. He went for 1 gate blink expand. And then a robo and a gate after the 3rd nexus. If this doesn't get punished by 3 racks, I'm literally cancelling the build, guys. Just saying. If a 3 racks can't punish this, then I'm literally cancelling the build. Actually, we can't, because Cure is showing us such a good version. I'm really excited to try it out, by the way. To be honest, when I watch replays myself, I feel like I'm not as analytic as when I'm actually recording a YouTube video. Because for you guys, I really want to get every single detail out there. I'm doing a mix between understanding the strategy and getting all the details of the build out there as well. And when I watch myself, I kind of tend to assume I already know how to do the build perfectly. But they always do something a little bit different. So when I watch a Cure replay like this in the YouTube video, I will learn the details a bit more myself as well. Which is pretty cool. It does seem like he has the exact same rhythm, by the way. He gets the factory fast with only 1 gas, because he never cut gas. And then after the factory, he instantly gets 3 extra gases. And this build, honestly, it seems to work out pretty perfectly. Now, this game, like I said, Hearthstone was actually too greedy. Gets his Nexus killed. And I'm very happy with that, to be honest, because if 3x didn't punish that build, I would have guessed that build was unpunishable, right? But Cure did a good job. And now he's actually switching up a little bit. Okay, this is very interesting, guys. Last game he did the brick, mass bio units on 3 base, finish it off. Now he gets ahead instead of behind. And he makes 2 barracks instead of the 3rd CC. If you didn't notice, this might look normal. But the 3rd CC has actually not been built yet. Last game, if you remember, he built it on location. Then he started making more barracks. This game he got ahead. And he's actually going to make the 2 barracks before the 3rd. Maybe because he thinks he can finish the game. Maybe because he thinks he can switch it up that way nicely. Both options are very possible. He's going to move out before he gets his medevacs up. I imagine he's still going to make a 3rd CC with this, by the way. Especially because he's not cutting down SCVs. That is something Cure does a little bit different from other Terrans, by the way. He actually cuts less SCVs than normal. On most Terrans, they would cut SCVs to get their 3rd base up, their extra barracks up. Cure kind of... Like, it's weird because this game he's playing such like a semi-all-in style, if you can call it like that. But normally, Cure really aims for the late game. If you guys haven't seen his late game, Cure is a fantastic late game player. And he just wants to get there. So he actually doesn't cut SCVs to make extra barracks. He just wants to get... you know, enough economy, get to his ghost at some point. So that's where he's different from other Terrans. But even when he's playing this, he's not cutting SCVs. And I would think that is maybe a slight mistake because he's going so, you know, heavy on the pressure. You'd probably want to maximize your unit count. He's going to get Widow Mines behind it too. Like I said, no siege tanks. And this is actually going to be a bit awkward for Hearthstone because the main is so vulnerable. Like, keep in mind, Hearthstone got a little bit behind from that opener, and now he's gonna have to defend both these sides at once. Really gets him into the 3rd there with that little army. He's gonna have to send the Colossus after that. But if the Colossus defends that, what is defending the main, right? Every unit here is dying. You can look at the supply. Just this simple move, guys. He's gonna be 40 supply up after this. And just like that, Cure basically bricks Hearthstone 2-0. And I think both these strategies were honestly super cool. The first one, I was so happy to see that because no one has played that style in ages. It's the straight up 8 racks, mass units, drop, 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 go, go, go. And this version was honestly like a mini brick. He got ahead. He made 5 barracks before the 3rd. And even on the biggest map in the pool, a map where you usually don't want to play as Terran because you can't attack, Cure makes it happen. Just fantastic stuff, guys. Cure is my favorite, and he will probably be for a long time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.